B. Elements of review. The nuclear posture review under subsection A shall include the following elements. 1. An assessment of the current and projected nuclear capabilities of Russia and China, and such other potential threats as the Secretary considers appropriate. 2. The role of nuclear forces in military strategy, planning, and programming of the United States. 3. The policy requirements and objectives for the United States to maintain a safe, reliable, and credible nuclear deterrence posture. 4. The relationship among United States nuclear deterrence policy, targeting strategy, and arms control objectives. 5. The role that missile defenses, conventional strike forces, and other capabilities play in determining the role and size of nuclear forces. 6. The levels and composition of the nuclear delivery systems that will be required for implementing the national and military strategy of the United States, including ongoing plans for replacing existing systems. 7. The nuclear weapons complex that will be required for implementing such national and military strategy, including ongoing plans to modernize the complex. 8. The active and inactive nuclear weapons stockpile that will be required for implementing the such national and military strategy, including ongoing plans for replacing or modifying warheads. C. Report concurrent with the National Defense Strategy required to be submitted under Section 113(g) of Title 10, United States Code. In 2022, the Secretary shall submit to the Congressional Defense Committees a report on the results of the nuclear posture review conducted under subsection A. The report shall be submitted in unclassified and classified forms as necessary. Sec. 1644. Review of safety, security, and reliability of nuclear weapons and related systems. A. Findings. Congress finds the following. 1. On December 20, 1990, Secretary of Defense Cheney chartered a 5-person independent committee known as the Federal Advisory Committee on Nuclear Failsafe and Risk Reduction to assess the capability of the Nuclear Weapon Command and Control System to meet the dual requirements of assurance against unauthorized use of nuclear weapons and assurance of timely, reliable execution when authorized, and to identify opportunities for positive measures to enhance failsafe features. 2. The Federal Advisory Committee, chaired by Ambassador Jeane J. Kirkpatrick, recommended changes in the nuclear enterprise, as well as policy proposals to reduce the risks posed by unauthorized launches and miscalculation. 3. The Federal Advisory Committee found, unambiguously, that failsafe and oversight enhancements are possible. 4. Since 1990, new threats to the nuclear enterprise have arisen in the cyber, space, and information warfare domains. 5. Ensuring the continued assurance of the nuclear command, control, and communications infrastructure is essential to the national security of the United States. B. Review. The Secretary of Defense shall provide for the conduct of an independent review of the safety, security, and reliability of covered nuclear systems. The Secretary shall ensure that such review is conducted in a manner similar to the review conducted by the Federal Advisory Committee on Nuclear Failsafe and Risk Reduction. C. Matters included. The review conducted pursuant to subsection B shall include the following. 1. Plans for modernizing the covered nuclear systems, including options and recommendations for technical, procedural, and policy measures that could strengthen safeguards, improve the security and reliability of digital technologies, and prevent cyber-related and other risks that could lead to the unauthorized or inadvertent use of nuclear weapons as the result of an accident, misinterpretation, miscalculation, terrorism, unexpected technological breakthrough, or deliberate act. 2. Options and recommendations for nuclear risk reduction measures, focusing on confidence building and predictability, that the United States could carry out alone or with near-peer adversaries to strengthen safeguards against the unauthorized or inadvertent use of a nuclear weapon and to reduce nuclear risks. D. Submission. Not later than 1 year after the date of the enactment of this Act, the Secretary shall submit to the Congressional Defense Committees the review conducted pursuant to subsection B. E. Previous review not later than 30 days after the date of the enactment of this Act, the Secretary shall submit to the Congressional Defense Committees the final report of the Federal Advisory Committee on Nuclear Failsafe and Risk Reduction. F. Covered nuclear systems defined in this section. The term covered nuclear systems means the following systems of the United States. 1. The nuclear weapons systems. 2. The nuclear command, control, and communications system. 3. The integrated tactical warning attack assessment system. Sec. 1645. Long-range standoff weapon. A. Requirement. In addition to the requirements under Section 2366C of Title 10, United States Code, prior to awarding a procurement contract for the long-range standoff weapon, the Secretary of the Air Force, in coordination with the Undersecretary of Defense for Acquisition and Sustainment, shall submit to the Congressional Defense Committees each of the following. 1. A certification that the future year's defense program submitted to Congress under Section 221 of Title 10, United States Code, includes, or will include, estimated funding for the program in the amounts specified in the independent estimated costs submitted to the Congressional Defense Committees under subsection A. 2 of such Section 2366C. 2. A copy of the justification and approval documentation regarding the determination by the Secretary to award a sole source contract for the program, including with respect to how the Secretary will manage the cost of the program in the absence of competition. B. Briefing. Not later than 90 days after the date of the enactment of this Act, the Secretary of the Air Force shall provide to the Congressional Defense Committees a briefing on the execution of the engineering and manufacturing development contract for the long-range standoff weapon, including with respect to 1. How the timely development of the long-range standoff weapon may serve as a hedge to delays in other nuclear modernization efforts. 2. The effects of potential delays in the W-80-4 warhead program on the ability of the long-range standoff weapon to achieve the initial operational capability schedule under Section 217 of the National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2014. Public Law 113-66, 127 Stat 706. As most recently amended by Section 1668 of the National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2020, Public Law 116-92, 133 Stat. 1774. 3. Options to adjust the budget profile of the long-range standoff weapon program to ensure the program remains on schedule. And 4. A plan to ensure best value to the United States once the programs enter into procurement. Sec. 1646. Ground-Based Strategic Deterrent Development Program Accountability Matrices. A. In general, concurrent with the submission to Congress of the budget of the President for fiscal year 2023 and each fiscal year thereafter pursuant to Section 1105(a) of Title 31, United States Code, the Secretary of the Air Force shall submit to the Congressional Defense Committees and the Comptroller General of the United States the matrices described in subsection B, relating to the Ground-Based Strategic Deterrent Weapon System. B. Matrices described. The matrices described in this subsection are the following. 1. Engineering and manufacturing development goals. A matrix that identifies, in 6-month increments, key milestones, development events, and specific performance goals for the engineering and manufacturing development phase of the Ground-Based Strategic Deterrent Weapon System, which shall be subdivided, at a minimum, according to the following. A. Technology maturity, including technology readiness levels of major components and key demonstration events leading to technology readiness. Level 7 full maturity. B. Design maturity for the missile, weapon system command and control, and ground systems. C. Software maturity, including key events and metrics. D. Manufacturing maturity, including manufacturing readiness levels for critical manufacturing operations and key demonstration events. E. The schedule with respect to the following. I. Ground-based strategic deterrent weapon system level critical path events and margins. 2. Separate individual critical path events and margins for each of the following major events. I. First flight. 2. First functional test. 3. Weapon system qualification. 4. Combined certifications. V. Operational weapon system article. 6. Initial operational capability. 7. Wing A completion. F. Personnel, including planned and actual staffing for the program office and for contractor and supporting organizations, including for testing, nuclear certification, and civil engineering by the Air Force. G. Reliability, including growth plans and key milestones. 2. Cost. A. In general, the following matrices relating to the cost of the ground-based strategic deterrent weapon system. I. A matrix expressing, in 6-month increments, the total cost for the engineering and manufacturing development phase and low-rate initial production lots of the ground-based strategic deterrent weapon system. 2. A matrix expressing the total cost for the prime contractor's estimate for the engineering and manufacturing development phase and production lots. B. Phasing and subdivision of matrices. The matrices described in clauses I and 2 of subparagraph A shall be I phased over the entire engineering and manufacturing development period, and 2 subdivided according to the costs of the primary subsystems in the ground-based strategic